Hi guys, and welcome to the Stephen King Sematary Club. So I resisted reading the Dark Tower series for a long time. I just don't love fantasy. I like Western type stuff, like Western movies, Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, love that movie, Tombstone, stuff like that. I do enjoy older Westerns, but there's something about the fantasy world, some of the made-up language, it didn't appeal to me. And I was first introduced to Roland through one of the short stories, and that is something that I read and I kind of thought, interesting, but not enough to make me want to read. So Dark Tower was mostly, when you signed up for the Stephen King library, you could choose all the things you wanted sent to you, and I just figured, why not? Why not do it? And then I didn't read it until I had received all of them that were published at the time. So after I ended my Stephen King library membership, more came out, and I had read up to that point. I was surprised at how much I did like the Dark Tower series, and I still think the first one is a little weak, but this was also written in 1970. It was started in 1970. Stephen King says that the Dark Tower series went from 1970 to 2003, so big time frame there. He said that it was inspired by The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which I have not seen, but he took that concept of the Western and the scenery that was in that specific movie, and he juxtaposed it against Lord of the Rings. So those are the two big influences for this series. So chapter 1 is The Gunslinger. Quote, "The man in black fled across the desert, and the gunslinger followed." Page 3. Now, I think that is one of the most iconic opening lines in history. It's probably the most iconic Stephen King opening line. And we don't know the gunslinger's name at this point, but because I do know him as Roland, we're just going to call him Roland. Roland is a pretty serious guy, and we don't know exactly what's happening, but he is trailing the man in black, who is not Johnny Cash, and he's in a desert. He is pursuing this guy, but he isn't able to catch up. We know that he and the man in black have history, and he finds a guy on his travels where he's able to board and eat and pass the night before he moves on. While he's there, he tells him the story of the town that he just came from, the town of Tull, and there was basically a massacre that occurred there. And Roland came in, the man in black kind of poisoned these people against him even before Roland got there. There was a man named Nort who was addicted to devilweed, and he died. The man in black resurrected him, and the guy was really pathetic and confused because he was saying that, he still has his addiction to this devilweed that has ruined his life, and he said, the man in black was able to bring me back. He certainly could have made me not addicted to this horrible substance anymore, but he didn't. So we know that the man in black, he has this kind of streak of malice. After this Nort guy dies and comes back, Allie, the bartender, who Roland starts a little relationship with when he's there for like a week or whatever, the man in black has left Allie a letter, and he says, this guy Nort has been programmed, I guess, to tell you all the secrets of death if you say the word 19. And he said if you ask him, he will tell you everything and you will go mad from this knowledge. But you will want to hear. You will eventually, at some point, you will say 19, and even though you don't want to, you're going to hear about it and it will destroy you. So he mentions the word 19 like 4 times throughout the course of this letter because he is an instigator. He's evil. He is wanting her to be tempted by this, and she's very disturbed. The gunslinger, Roland, actually tells her, try as hard as you can to not think about that. If it does occur to you that you want to say that to him, go upstairs, say it when he can't hear you, get it out of your system, train yourself that the number following 18 and before 20 is not 19. Just try and obliterate that number. So there's a woman in town named Sylvia Pittston, and she is like a preacher of some kind. She said she's been given a child by the man in black, but it's not his child. It's some sort of demon baby thing, and Roland kills it. And she is pissed off, and she turns the entire town against him, calls him an interloper, and basically manipulates this mob of people into attacking him, trying to kill him, whatever. So Allie has said 19 to Nort, and she has gone insane. She asks Roland to kill her. He obliges, and it just starts a huge fight. So these people are running after him with rocks and sticks and wooden planks with nails in it, knives, everything like that. No guns. They don't have guns. Roland is the last gunslinger. And it's very Children of the Corn-esque, you know, when the mob attacks Vicky and Bert. And they just keep coming, even though Roland is killing them. He is shooting all of them. They are dropping dead. Finally, someone gets a good hit. They throw something, I think a knife, and the handle hits Roland in the head, and it kind of jars him and knocks him over, and they are able to advance on him. So they start inflicting damage, and he gets stabbed quite a bit. He ends up killing everyone. Quote, he had shot and killed 39 men, 14 women, and 5 children. He had shot and killed everyone in Tull. Page 66. So this is, the way we hear all this information is because he's telling Brown, the guy that he's staying with, and that's how we get backstory here. And Roland had just been minding his own business. He was trying to get out of town. He's following the man in black. These people didn't need to fight him, and they all would have survived, but they did bring it on themselves. And he tells Brown his story. He feels better for having done it, kind of like a confession. He finishes his story, he goes to sleep, and he leaves Brown in the morning. And Roland resumes his lonely journey following the man in black across the desert. The book does feel like it was written by a young Stephen King. It's not as good as the books that are to come. We know that there's a woman that Roland loved and something happened. We don't know exactly what. There's a guy in here that he recognizes from that time. He gets agitated, so we know it's something bad. We get some of Roland's personality coming out. We hear certain expressions, certain words, long days, pleasant nights, that kind of thing. We find out the importance of number 19 already. It's begun, and it is good to get a basis to begin things.